We will now reconvene the special city council meeting. Madam City Attorney, do we have anything to report?
There was one closed session item. The city council gave direction to its legal counsel with respect to the pending litigation matter, and that ends the closed session report.
Thank you. The special city council meeting is now adjourned. Before I begin the regular city council meeting, I would like to inform members of the public that I will be taking public comment for non-agenda public comment and for items on the agenda via our teleconference line. For those wishing to address the city council may call 562-299-6622 when I make that announcement. Persons speaking are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes and your comments will be recorded. Once your time has ended, the call will be immediately disconnected. For those who have submitted their comments via email, your comments will be read into the record at the appropriate times during the meeting, and no additional public comment will be permitted during teleconference calls. I would like to call to order the regular city council meeting. Madam City Clerk, will you please take roll?
Yes, Mayor. Before I take roll, I would like to inform members of the audience that Councilmember Ashton is participating in this meeting via teleconference. Councilmember Ashton?
Here.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Here.
Councilmember Saab?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Frometa?
Present.
And Mayor Pacheco.
Present. I would now like to ask Councilmember Rick Rodriguez to do the invocation for us.
Please stand. So, seeing this is the last time I'm going to do this, for a while, I guess, as an elected official, I just want to tell you, department heads and staff of the city, thank you so much for allowing me to sit in this seat. So please join me now as we pray and invite the Lord here. Lord, we thank you, Lord, for calling our name to serve. Lord, we thank you for the ability to come before you, to do good for others. We thank you for every person in this room, Lord, that gives so much of themselves and their families just to make our city a better place to live and work. God, we pray that you go before us with the new elected officials. We pray, Lord, you guide them, watch over them, and direct them. Keep them accountable, Lord. Keep them strong. Keep them healthy, Lord. Lord, we pray for this evening. Let this meeting go smooth and easy. And Lord, I thank you, Lord, for calling my name to serve. In Jesus' name, amen.
I would now like to ask Councilmember Alex Saab to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will now go down for presentations. The first certificate of congratulations is regarding the Downey Police Department and Downey Unified School District Holiday Greeting Card Contest winners. For this, I will invite up our police chief to help me with this presentation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As you may know, the City of Downey has partnered with the Downey Unified School District. Last year being the first year, this is the second annual Holiday Greeting Card Contest. What we've asked the district to do is separate the grades into kindergarten through third, fourth through sixth, seventh through eighth, and ninth through 12th, and then ask them to select or to submit artistic work from their students to be considered to be placed on the Downey Police Department holiday greeting cards that we send out every year. So as we did last year, this year we had a bunch of fantastic entries, and it was a difficult job, but we were able to to select winners in each grade. So I would like to start, first of all, by recognizing Jacob Cardenas, who was a second grader at Alameda Elementary School. And then behind us on the screen, we have a large image of the card that Jacob created for us. And then in here, we have a certificate from the Downey Police Department, as well as a gift card for Jacob. And we also resubmitted or given you your original artwork back in case you want to keep it for your family. And you'll also receive a copy of the Christmas card in the mail from us when we send them out during the holiday season. So, Jacob, thank you very much. Congratulations. You did a great job. We're very proud to display your card on our Christmas card list this year. So thank you very much. There's your certificate, young man. Great job. The mayor has something for you as well.
And I also have here a city lapel pin. It has a city's emblem, so I hope you wear it with pride.
Congratulations, Jacob. Yeah, that'd be great, yeah. Our next award recipient is a fifth grader from Lewis Elementary School, Shelby Solis. Hi, Shelby. Thank you very much for your beautiful Christmas card. We put a big picture of it up there on the screen for everyone to see, but we really appreciate the work that you did, and we're very proud to display your card for our Christmas card giveaway this year. So thank you very much for submitting it for us, and thanks for letting us share it with all of our community, okay? So great job. Congratulations. Here's a certificate for you. And then this is a gift card for her and her original piece of artwork, if you want to hold on to that. And we just want to say thank you very much. Congratulations for your selection.
And Shelby, I have here a lapel pin with the city emblem, so that way you can wear it with pride.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Yes, please. Is it okay if we take a photo? I like your bedazzled mask. We want the family to be in the center. Yes, sir, 2 more. Then from the 7th and 8th grade categories, the winner was Norin Hernandez, an 8th grader from Griffith Middle School. Hi, Norin. Thank you very much for sharing your artwork with us. We're going to be very proud to display it on our Christmas card this year. So thank you for participating in the program. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Here's a gift card for Norin, and it's also his original artwork. We're going to back the invitation something later. And there's a picture of your beautiful card going to be up here, I'm sure. Or probably was, and I missed it. I was too slow. There it is. So great job. I love the police canines leading the display. That's awesome. Yeah. Good job. Good job. Come on over. The mayor's got a presentation for you as well.
And that is very clever.
Yeah.
So I also have here a lapel pin with the city emblem so that you can wear it with pride. And great job. That's amazing artwork.
Yeah, he's got the whole city hall to scale there.
Yeah, great job. Here you go. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you very
All
much.
right, picture?
Very nice job. Yahira? Okay. So we have our 12th grade winner, which is Yahira Martinez. She's a Downey High School student. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it tonight, but at least we can maybe put a picture of her card up on the screen there. So she did another great gift, a great gift to us to use on our artwork. So we'll be very happy to display that as well. And just quick publicly, I wanted to thank Yvonne Rosales for all the work she did in helping us coordinate this effort with the school district. She did an excellent job of herding all the cats together and getting all the cards together and bringing everything together for us. So thank you very much, Yvonne. You did a great job. Okay. We'll make sure we get it. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
For the next presentation, I'd like to invite up our Assistant City Manager, John Ascui.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, it is a distinct pleasure and honor to announce to you a Public Works Association annual award that we have received for our Furman Park project in the category of parks and open space. It is indeed, as you know, it's a competitive selection process. We submitted our project and it was selected as the winner this year. And with us tonight is Ms. Lisa Rapp. She is the Public Works Director for City of Lakewood and a longstanding chair for the local chapter of American Public Works Association. Ms. Rapp.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council members. As John said, I'm Lisa Rapp. I'm the Public Works Director for the City of Lakewood, California, but I also participate in APWA. I'm currently serving as the Technical Director for Environmental Management, serving on the American Public Works Association National Board of Directors, and I'm also a past president of the APWA Southern California chapter. That we are the 5th largest chapter in the United States with over 1,400 members. Our mission is to promote public works professional excellence and awareness through education and advocacy. As part of that mission, the chapter recognizes the top public works projects of the year as part of our highly competitive annual Best Awards program. I'm pleased to announce that the City of Downey was selected to receive a Project of the Year award for your Furman Park Improvement Project in the category of recreation and athletic facilities. Furman Park improvements consisted of upgrades to 2 existing buildings, restroom remodel to meet accessibility standards, and construction of additional restrooms. Other improvements included new irrigation system, recreational turf reseeding, jogging trails, sidewalks, planting, and park signage to formalize and realign the park's entrance. Recreation enhancements included upgraded backstops, field fencing replacement, resurfacing of 4 courts, a sport court additions, shade sails, parking lot expansion, 4 new picnic shelters, and a new trash enclosure. The enhancements and additions allow for a greater number of people to enjoy the park more frequently. The new landscape palette will save water while enhancing runoff water quality. And so this project really represents a true enhancement to the quality of life in the community of Downey. As a Downey resident, living adjacent to Furman Park, where my 2 sons played as young children, I'm very proud to present this award to the City of Downey for this outstanding project. So congratulations, and this is the award.
Can I just make a comment? I want to particularly thank John Osqui and Gilbert for that project. I know John and Gilbert were extremely hands-on on that project, and Furman Park is incredible. It's a great, but I know John especially and Gilbert, assistant city manager, city manager, did a phenomenal job in all the details, and we're really grateful. So they deserve a huge amount of credit for this. So thank you, John.
Yes, thank you.
I echo that. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, picture.
Send it to the mayor.
Okay, here we go. Thank you. The City of Lakewood's getting one too, so he'll get his smile real pretty. Nobody can see it. Thank you. This is wonderful. Oh, my pleasure to come. Okay, here's our little notes and we'll give you the box. Oh, my pleasure.
This is nice. I'd now like to call up Alice White to present him with the Mayor's Impact Award. So the Mayor's Impact Award is given to those individuals who have made an impact in our city. And the individual that I want to recognize is Alice White. He is the owner of Premier Fitness. He started his fitness career approximately 10 years ago at Apollo Park, where he started off as a basketball coach. This eventually led him to providing fitness classes over at Apollo Park, where he held boot camp classes. Approximately 5 years ago, he opened up his own gym, which is Premier Fitness, located off of Imperial Highway here in our city. I had the opportunity of meeting Mr. White approximately 5 years ago through community involvement. And he's been involved with the TLC events. He's been involved with cancer awareness events over at the gym. And he's just the kind of person that enjoys giving to others. He enjoys motivating others to fitness, motivating them to have a positive mentality on life, and he just enjoys genuinely helping others. And this year has been like no other. This year has been tough on businesses. It has been tough on his business. And even still, he continues to help others. He continues to motivate others to do more, do better, and to work out, of course. I've always noticed that on his social media pages, he encourages people to stay positive with positive quotes, positive videos, and it's been a pleasure knowing you. But also this year, he has given back to the community. He just recently provided a donation to our Downey police officers for their Shop with a Cop event. And it's because of this positive nature that I am recognizing Alice White with the Mayor's Impact Award. So I have here, in recognition of your selfless dedication and always going above and beyond for others, your heartfelt efforts and accomplishments have been an enormous value to our community and have helped to further the common goal of making our city a better place for all. Signed, Mayor Blanca Pacheco. Thank you. And I have here a lapel pin.
So first off, I want to say thank you for being here. I want to say thank you for the award. It's definitely an honor. I had no idea I was receiving this award prior to a couple of days ago. And I really don't give back to our community just for an award. I really want to make an impact because as much as we're in the community every day, the better that we can leave it when we leave here, this earth. That's what I believe God put me here for. So it's a blessing. I just want to say thank you, everybody. I want to say thank you, Blanca. I appreciate the award, and I'm honored to serve my community. Thank you.
One more. Figured I'd make this a council meeting where I just give a lot of awards. Now, for the next presentation, I'd like to call up our city manager to help me with it.
Thank you, Mayor. This time of the year is always bittersweet for me, especially when we're talking about employees who are retiring. And it's bitter because you hate to see somebody go that's an outstanding employee. It's sweet because they're at a point in their life where they can actually enjoy some of the things in life without all the stresses. So today we're going to recognize Mark Gillespie, our fire chief, who has dedicated 31 and a half years of service to the city of Downey. I'm just going to read you a brief bio of some of his accomplishments. Fire Chief Gillespie has been with the city of Downey, as I indicated, for 31 and a half years. He moved to Downey in 1985 after growing up and attending college in the Midwest. Iowa, is that correct? He began his fire service career with the Downey Fire Department in 1988, first as a volunteer auxiliary firefighter, then a part-time fire dispatcher, before being hired as a full-time Downey firefighter in 1989. Some highlights include he was promoted to fire captain in 1998. He was promoted to battalion chief in 2000, was appointed to assistant chief in 2011, where he also served as the city's fire marshal. Selected and currently serving in the city's, and he's currently serving as the city's fire chief. It was one of the best selections I've made as a department head, so thank you very much. Some of the things that he's accomplished over that time: he increased our engine company staffing levels to 4 personnel. He was instrumental in getting all our fire stations rebuilt. 2 of them are completed, 2 of them are construction. It's a lot of work to get those things done. We used to chat about it was a dream, right? And we really worked, and we said, working together, we knew that we would get this thing done, and Mark really pushed it, and I think the fruits of it show your efforts of what you've did over the last several years. He created a fallen fire memorial, something that the department and the city had long wanted to do and long is overdue. So, and that was recently memorialized a couple of weekends ago, and it was really fitting for the families that of the falling officers. He's bolstered the department training capabilities. He's reorganized IT services and fleet maintenance with the city departments. He established fire investigation, community automatic defibrillators, and peer support programs. He also championed disaster preparedness emergency manager and training coordinator and ambulance coordinator, fire inspector, and administrative assistant positions. These are all things that he really championed and fought for to try to enhance the fire department and make it one of the premier fire departments in Southern California. Mark and his wife, Suzanne, have been married for 31 years. They are the proud parents of 3 adult sons. Jake, who's a civilian employee for the U.S. Navy. Mitchell is a firefighter paramedic for Anaheim Fire. And Brett is active duty United States Marine Corps corporal. Fire Chief Gillespie will be retiring December 31st, 2020, after 31 and a half years of dedicated service to the city of Downey, its residents, and the firefighters. He has been an excellent fire chief, overcoming many challenges while accomplishing much throughout his career. He will certainly be leaving the fire department on a solid ground and headed in the right direction. On a personal note, Mark, I want to say that you were the right person at the right time. It's no secret that we had a tumultuous period between the city and the fire department. Where we have come from is amazing. What you have done is amazing. Sometimes history, we don't choose it, history chooses us, and it chose you to be that fire chief to lead us through those turbulent times and to really put us on some solid footing for many years to come. And so I want to thank you for being the dedicated servant, public servant. That's what we're all here for, is to serve the public. And your dedication over the years has been something that will be an example to whoever follows you, in this case, Dan Herlock. and to all the other department heads as well. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate the service that you've given the city, and I'm sure the council also appreciates that. So with that, I would like to present you with a city tile. It's not very big. It doesn't say anything. It's understated, but we don't give these out too often, and they only go out to people who are retiring. And so I want to say to you, well, let's come on up. So let's give them a round of applause, folks. So on behalf of the citizens of Downey, in recognition of your 31 years of civil service and your retirement from the Downey Fire Department, I present you with this tile. Thank you. And on behalf of the city and the city council and the mayor, a certificate of recognition also to you for your service. Again, there's not a lot of department heads. I know we give these out to the community, but there aren't a lot of employees that get these. So this also goes to you. They're understated, but they mean a lot. And so please hang them with pride. Remember us, and we certainly remember you. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Mark?
Yes. Thank you. This off real quick. Thank you, City Manager Levis, Mayor Pacheco, and honorable City Council members. Thank you very much for tonight's recognition. As I stand here tonight, I am reminded of the day I was appointed as fire chief 6.5 years ago in this very room. Much has changed over the past 6 years, thankfully. Through it all, though, I have cherished every moment, both good times and bad. As my time in Downey comes near an end, it is only appropriate that I am back in these chambers to give my heartfelt thanks back to the city of Downey. First of all, I would like to thank the residents of Downey and our honorable city council for their unwavering support of the fire department and of me throughout the years. Also, it has been an honor, an absolute honor, to have been a part of City Manager Levis's dedicated and hardworking executive team here tonight, who has, and I'll just say, magically transformed this city. I am very proud of the work all of you have done on behalf of the residents. I'm also grateful to my command staff and administrative staff who are here tonight, specifically Assistant Chief Ivy and my Executive Secretary Zelda Ross here tonight, who have faithfully served as my confidants, doing much of the heavy lifting where the rubber meets the road. Lastly, I am most proud of all of our firefighters, Downey's bravest, who selflessly and willingly put themselves in harm's way to protect this community. Every day they respond and save lives, literally, even during this ongoing pandemic. When I was first appointed fire chief, I made the following promises during my swearing-in ceremony. 1, to look out for the community's best interests at all time. 2, to make Downey Fire Department the best I possibly can. 3, to remain professional at all times. 4, to carry out on Downey Fire's tradition and reputation as an outstanding fire department. And lastly, I promise myself to always remain dedicated, hardworking, and humble from the first day to the very last. I have tried to remain true to my promises and am proud to report the fire department is much different today than on the day I became fire chief. With patience, collaboration, and compromise, I'm extremely proud of the fire department it is today. And under the leadership of Chief Herlock, who's here tonight, I am confident they will continue to honorably serve Downey's residents and businesses. Throughout my career, I have had the opportunity to work with many outstanding individuals, and I will take with me many great memories and rewarding experiences. What a blessing it has been to be a Downey fireman for the past 31 and a half years. During this time, I have learned the importance of living one's life with purpose and passion. And as a result, I have come to realize how fortunate I have been in my career and in life. Again, I thank you for tonight's recognition. It has been my distinct honor to serve the city of Downey. I have loved every minute of it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Madam Mayor, I do have a request if item 14, presentation of Measure S, if we can move that up to the front of the agenda.
Okay. So I'd like to invite in former Mayor Mario Guerra.
A lot different waiting out there, you guys. Okay? It really is. So, well, thank you, and thank you for having me. It's great to see everyone. I'm honored to be here on the last night of Councilman Rick Rodriguez, and oh yeah, he's got the pen, and Councilman Alex Saab. So it is a great pleasure. So my name is Mario Guerra, and I'm the vice chair of the Measure S Oversight Committee. So I want to show you something. I asked John Osprey for a few talking points, right? I wrote my page this font, and Mr. Osprey just gave me right now this font, okay? I'm too old to read that, thank goodness, but I know. That's okay, buddy, I'm sorry.
Reminds us of your outgoing presentation.
That's all good, I'm still doing that one. In November 2016, the citizens of Downey approved Measure S. In December 2017, the city secured a bond over $50 million in bond proceeds. Though this was great news, except that it came with a caveat that and there was a serious challenge to all the staff, as we know. It meant that 85% of the total funds, about $40 million, had to be spent before December 2020. And this meant planning, designing, construction of 22 capital projects. And it was hard to do. And then 16 to 18-month construction phase, and it usually takes 8 months just to complete. So, but with the leadership of the City Council, amazing staff, it was given an opportunity to devise a very aggressive implementation program that started in March 2018. So by design, you finished in an 18-month window. That was amazing. When Measure S passed, by the way, it required an advisory committee that you approved, and it was established to meet on a regular quarterly basis and to review the city expenditures and generated by Measure S. And in 2017, you, the Downey City Council, established the formation of this committee. At our quarterly meetings, Mr. Osqui, Mr. Gandhi, and Judy all have provided us updates on the expenditures for the public safety personnel and equipment, as well as the status on all the various parks and facilities and all the improvement projects. You guys are well aware of that, and it's been absolutely amazing. The Independent Citizens Oversight Committee has verified the Measure S funds that have been used to enhance the quality of our services within our community. And as of June 30th, 2020, the city has expended over $42 million for Measure S projects. By the end of December 2020, staff expects to spend all the bond proceeds. So nothing short of amazing, and really, it really is. The committee consists of Dorothy Pemberton, Donald LaPlante, Carrie Uva, and now Michael Murray. I'm still the vice chair, and our chairman that was elected by us was former Mayor Dave Gaffin, who recently passed away, and we all feel the pain. I chose not to take the title of chair in his honor. He will always be the chairman of this committee in our hearts. This committee has worked really well with our staff. It's been an honor serving, and I personally want to thank Councilman Saab for appointing me to this committee, and I'm sure I could speak for all the other ones, thanking all of you for the opportunity to serve. I can tell you that our committee has been very inquisitive, has asked a lot of questions. Mr. Osqui and Mr. Gandhi do an amazing job of getting us all the facts, the information. They've been able to satisfy all the requests. You saw the names on there. There are no yes people on there. We all want to know. But the one thing that the committee shared with the staff and all of you is the love and the passion for this community. And everybody came from a great place. So we want to commend the City Council for the vision on these projects and what they mean to our community. And we also want to let you know that our city staff has amazingly accomplished in 3 years is nothing short of astonishing. They're to be recognized for their hard work and their due diligence on behalf of the residents of Downey. You guys know that I quote John Gately Downey all the time where it says, true strength lies in determination. Well, I can tell you that that's exactly what the staff in our city have done over the past 3 years. Completely amazing. We have a quick PowerPoint, and I'm not going to go through all the details of it, but if you will, if we can go forward. Oh, you want me to do? Okay. It's like, it gives me my talking cadence better. You guys know me. There you go. Okay, so this is the advisory committee that I was talking to you about. And then Mr. Murray was just recently at it. There isn't a meeting that goes by. We've had them, several of them on there, and we miss Mayor Gaffin. So this is the original Measure S sales tax revenue. The good thing about this is that we project about $9 to $10 million a year. But the good thing is that the debt service is conservative. So even under bad years like this, on there, we're not going to fall behind, that we won't have the money for debt service. We may not have other expenditures that we want to, but the debt service will always be able to be taken care of. So you won't have to go out of general funds or reserves to do that. This is the projects, you all know that. All the fire stations on there that we're working on 2 of them, 2 and 4. The library that some of you have visited on there, and obviously a very inexpensive project, but it's going to change our community, continue to. All the different parks, well, the Civic Center, you've been in here, but you know what's interesting is when you walk into City Hall, and I hadn't been here a little bit, it still has that smell. It's not a bad smell, it just has a City Hall smell, you know? So that's the one thing Measure S couldn't get rid of, right? And Measure S is for special. And I'm jokingly, of course, sort of. Anyways, the parks, you got to recognize for the amazing work at Furman Parks. Wilderness Park is going to be opening soon, and that's going to be exciting. It's got the bridge and so, but the little things, you guys all know this on the council, but the little things about, you know, moving the turtles and the fish and all it's amazing, crazy what you had to put up with, but now the results are showing. So we continue to thank you. The updates now, these are the new parks coming, Wilderness Park coming soon.
You could take the mask off while you're speaking if you want.
I can. Why didn't you say that before?
Don't start over, though.
I know. I was having a hard time breathing there. Thanks a lot. Anyways, but the Wilderness Park, the one is coming soon, and we're all looking forward to doing so. There we go. So here's some of the Measure S facilities. You guys all know this. And again, I keep repeating this because the council knows it really well. But we've gone into detail from the funds on this at every one of our meetings. So believe me, when we've tried to be good stewards of that and the responsibility of our oversight committee, but the staff has done an amazing job. You've seen all the numbers there. And the city hall, the other facilities, they all add up. Apollo Park, which I frequent on a regular basis, Dennis the Menace Park, and all the rest of them. And some were differences in funds depending on the quality of the things that needed to be done. Okay. And then here's, of course, Golden Park Discovery Sports Complex. Thank you, Mr. Oscar, for getting the name of the park right. That's an inside joke for everybody. But Furman Park, and of course, the other improvements. So there's some videos here that the city clerk has, that the city staff has made. You guys have seen some of them. You guys are in most of them, or all of them, actually. So, and although COVID hasn't allowed us to conduct the in-person community celebrations that we really want, the city has been very innovative on there with virtual grand openings that you guys have all attended. And the city plans to have a big Measure S celebration day somewhere in 2020 if the county ever allows us to gather in person again. And again, we're grateful for the city's leadership, the city managers' guidance, the city staff, and all the dedicated workers that have made this a project a reality. So if you have that there. Those good-looking people. That's pretty cool, right? Brings us back to our childhood. Thank you, Councilman Saw, for sharing your photos the other day. It was great to see that, and we look forward to being in there with books. Ben was here, right? There's Ben over there. Yeah. the theater when you drive down Firestone. We've all noticed it, right? It looks amazing, that whole elevator. Yeah, yeah, it's beautiful. Chief, it's great to have the city of Downey on the fire stations there. A little bit bigger font than before. Thank you, sir. Well, oh, that was it? Yes, okay. So I always say there's two kinds of people, right? Those who wake up every day and say, "Good morning, Lord," and those that wake up and says, "Good Lord, it's morning." It takes will and attitude to get things done. The city of Downey has the will and the attitude. God Measure S has been absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for your leadership, for our staff, and for our committee. And I wanted to report this out and meet our obligations. The funds have been well invested and they're safe and sound. So, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad to take any questions from you. So
I want to comment. I want to thank, obviously staff has done an incredible job, and I'm glad you recognize that. But I want to thank you, first of all, for giving this presentation, and then the rest of the committee. It always, every time we're reminded of how much has been done in the last 2 years, and that's why sometimes it's like, nails on a chalkboard when we hear people come up to the mic and say, what have you guys done with that Measure S money? I mean, it's mind-boggling. I think in the last 2 years, we probably did more in the last 2 years as a community than probably when the city was first incorporated, as far as infrastructure and projects, and to think to do that all within a 2.5 year frame is incredible. But thank you. There's a couple former mayors on there, and I know you guys all do this because you obviously care for our community, and I know it takes time and time away from your family, and we just want to thank you. Thank you for being involved, and also former Mayor Dave Gaffin, may you rest in peace, for doing that and for continuing to be one of the watchdogs in our community. So thank you.
we really appreciate it. The committee works really well together. They really do. Everybody had something to it. And you guys know that. I wasn't the biggest supporter on there, but I've drank the Kool-Aid. I really have. I've seen what can be done. And what I know, Gilbert's laughing over there because we have, but no, you guys have done it. So God bless you. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you for the presentation. We have to open it up to the public for public comment.
Open what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will now open this item for public comment. Members of the public wishing to address the council regarding item number 14 may now call our teleconference line at 562-299-6622. For those who submitted comments via email, your comments will be read into the record and no further public comment via teleconference will be permitted. City Clerk Duarte, do we have any written correspondence regarding this item to be read into the record?
Mayor, give me 1 second. Yes, we do. We have correspondence from Mr. Lee Squire regarding item number 14. Measure S Fund 33. Was it legal to have used Measure S bond proceeds to I don't understand this word. To halt funded the firefighters memorial? Why is there no approved budget February 25th, 2020 for item number 14, CIP 19-26, other city facilities building upgrades? Item 15, CIP 19-27, ADA improvement projects. Does not state name of individual who prepared the worksheet. Measure S Fund 33. Was it legal to have used Measure S Fund 35 to have funded firefighter memorial? And that is all, Mayor.
City Clerk Duarte, do we have any speakers on the phone?
Yes, we do, Mayor. We have one call. Please state your name and begin speaking.
Yes. This item, por favor. How much time do I get?
You have 3 minutes, sir.
Oh, on just the one item?
Your time is running.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm calling, and I tried to go to the meeting in person, but I heard that you were having security personnel escort people to their cars. And I live in my car, so that was quite convenient.
Sir, you have to speak on item number 14. This is a warning.
Yeah. This is the pretty projects that you had here on your YouTube delay channel. Now I see that people are talking about you not having the proper paperwork in order for this money. Now, if that's true, Blanca might have to face the same consequences as Mr. Jose Huizar and a neighboring committee. We don't want that. No. So, one thing I can see is that you are wasting the money. And I think that's a good thing because I call all types of city governments to urge them to waste the money because spending the money isn't good enough. You have to waste the money on garbage. Garbage is the form of government we have. So continue your good work with producing garbage, wasting money, and submitting improper paperwork and then invoices that aren't signed, et cetera, et cetera. That is the paradigm of the Blanca administration 2.0. Where'd you get that word paradigm? I looked it up on Zoom, yes. So not only are puppets learning to speak more slowly, but they're also learning to speak with a higher vocabulary. Such as, for example, fuck the Downey City Council, open up these meetings to public speakers, and allow goats.
Sir, you're off topic. We're going to hang up.
It's the proper thing to do.
Let's hang up.
Otherwise,
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
We have 2 more calls, Mayor. Hello, please state your name and begin speaking.
Hi, my name is Donald LaPlante. I'm a member of the Oversight Commission. I just wanted to associate myself with the remarks that Deacon Mario Guerra made. We have a wonderfully functioning committee. I'd like to thank Council Member Ashton for appointing me, and thank you for the opportunity to be of service to the community of Downey.
Thank you.
Please state your name and begin speaking.
Hi, this is Shoei from the city of Downey. Just really quick about Measure S. If everyone knows that the city council tried expanding the freeway, which was going to knock out some homes on some parks.
That has nothing to do with this item.
Let me make my point. Just know that these council members, particularly Pacheco and Fermenta, threw money into Furman Park. Sorry, not Furman Park, Dennis the Menace Park for show. And what I mean by that is that they knew that that park was in the way of a project that could demolish it, but they still wanted the public to think they were doing their job by throwing thousands and thousands of dollars into a project that could potentially be demolished had Alex Contreras from the 1st District not brought attention to it. Now, this is why I want to make it clear to the public. These council members will waste their money and not do their job and lie to you while having ulterior plans that just seem like they're benefiting the community when they're actually just benefiting their own image. Thank you.
Second? Is there a motion and a second to receive and file the Measure S semi-annual report? City Clerk Duarte, can we please take a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Ashton?
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Saab?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Frometa?
Yes.
And Mayor Pacheco.
Yes,
The motion was approved unanimously.
thank you. Yes.
There was a comment that was made by the first speaker that submitted his comments in writing. I just wanted to make clear that there were no Measure S funds spent for the firefighter memorial. Firefighter memorial was all funded through a general fund, a gracious allocation of funds from a general fund to build this project that was long overdue. So there were no Measure S funds used for constructing and finishing up the firefighter memorial. Just wanted to make that clear.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Now I will go back to City Council member announcements, requests for future agenda items, conference meeting reports, and I'll start off to my far left with Councilmember Alex Saab.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Try to keep comments short. I think it was mentioned earlier, we took a library tour, Councilmember Rodriguez and I, and our city manager and assistant city manager, and I just want to say, the library looks great. It looks incredible. It really does, I think, exceed our expectations. We knew it was going to look good, but it just looks great. So can't wait to have the public, once it's done, the public come and see it, and it'll definitely be something that everyone will be proud of. I do want to, it would behoove me not to mention the anniversary of Ricky Gave's death this last week, and we just wanted to make sure that he continues to be memorialized. Obviously, that was a very difficult time in our city, and I just want to acknowledge that he continues to be in our thoughts and prayers. On that same day, I did have also an opportunity to tour some of the updates at the police station, and Chief Milligan was gracious enough to give us a tour with Councilman Rodriguez as well. And I do want to make a note, and I think it's important that Chief Milligan, hears this. It was an observation that I made, and I just want to really commend him. And it was something that was so subtle, but walking through the station, Chief Milligan just showed an incredible amount of respect and really recognizing the employees, no matter what position, whether they were a sworn officer or whatever it may be. It really stood out to me what an incredible leader he continues to be. He really it really stood out. And I think Councilman Rodriguez probably noticed as well. He really sets the tone in that department. We know we have a great leader and a great department, but seeing it firsthand, him just walking through the hall and recognizing person either filing something, and him, Chief Milligan, thanking them for doing their job, and you can just tell that the environment there. People really enjoy working there, and it really starts at the top. And I just want to thank you, Chief Milligan. I did notice your humanity and your kindness to your employees, and really it means a lot to just observe that. And I want to just thank you and acknowledge you. I did have a question. I know a few months ago I asked about the tennis courts. Well, we had some questions about the tennis courts at Furman Park and the basketball we had converted one to a multi-purpose court. And I don't know, I haven't been there recently. Has that opened already, the basketball in that court? Or is it closed because of the COVID? Sorry, I know I should have mentioned it earlier, but it just occurred to me.
The courts themselves are complete. However, due to the county's protocols, outdoor basketball courts are not allowed at this time.
Okay, I just wanted to, because there was some concern about the basketball and if it was going to interrupt the tennis. I know the tennis is on, but I wasn't sure about the basketball. I want to see how that interaction was going on, because when that was in the planning stage, there was some concern with some of the tennis players, and I hadn't heard any complaints, so I didn't know if it was working okay, but apparently it's not unveiled yet, so I guess that's why we haven't heard complaints. But anyway, obviously this is, I'm not going to be here much longer, but if we could just make sure we continue to observe that, making sure that if there are complaints, that the city makes those appropriate changes, which I know we have the confidence in all of you. And I think that, and I also want to thank staff. I know that the Banana in downtown, there's you guys are redoing removing some of the landscaping so that people can go take a picture, and it really looks great. I think it was pretty much done by last weekend. I don't know if it finally finished, but it looks great. If anyone has not gone and seen it, I recommend. It's next to the Greek Church on Downey Avenue. Continue to, the COVID numbers continue to be, high, and we just continue to, please encourage people to follow the guidelines, wear a mask when outdoors, and I know we have an item later on tonight, but we'll discuss that when the time comes. That concludes my comments, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next up, we have Mayor Pro Tem Claudia Frometa.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to keep my comments short. I know we have a long agenda, but good evening, everybody. It's nice to see you, and welcome those of you that are watching us via Zoom and via YouTube channel. I want to once again thank our city manager and assistant city manager for the amazing job that was done with our library. The mayor and I had an opportunity also to tour that place, and we cannot wait to open it to the public. And I know, again, Councilmember Saab shared those photos. And again, our community is just going to be so blessed with this tremendous enhancement to our community. And we realize that if we were under different circumstances, things would be very different, and we would be able to, months ago, have been able to move in. So thank you for the great work that has been done, because when we talk about legacy projects and legacy type of work, this is one of them. And so thank you. I want to thank you very much. I had the opportunity with the rest of my council colleagues to attend the Firefighters Memorial and a couple of weeks ago, and pay tribute to those two families and that lost their loved ones some years ago. And I just want to say thank you to our Fire Chief Gillespie for your words. And again, you are such a tremendous leader, and you have been over a time of change and turbulence. And it's so much when individuals, again, are called to serve and bring about peace and are called to be peacemakers, leaders and peacemakers and collaborators. So thank you for the time that you've served our community. And we're also looking forward to Chief Herlock and your time as a leader to this community. So thank you. We really appreciated the time that we were able to spend with some of those families during the Firefighter Memorial. I would like to also thank and echo Councilmember Saab's words in regards to our police chief. We also had an opportunity to tour the police station, and thank you, Chief, and thank you to Captain Murray. Those enhancements to the locker rooms and various places in the station were definitely much needed. One of the things that, again, makes us proud, and as a female officer sits in this room, is the fact that our police department has, of course, changed over the years, and the number of female officers that continue to serve in our community continues to increase. And the commitment to serve our community is such, in the relationship that we have with our community is really one that is unique and is special to our city. So thank you for your leadership. I would like to ask staff just a couple of things, and I think we've continued to see these issues. I know that folks, we're continuing to keep an eye on Apollo Park, and Aldo, thank you for continuing to provide those updates. I know the residents there appreciate it. Councilman Ashton and I had the opportunity to attend that neighborhood watch meeting some weeks back, and so we continue to be in touch with the residents in that area. So thank you for continuing to ensure that we keep an eye on that particular area. And also for our police, if we can have more speed enforcement in the areas of Firestone, Florence, and Stewart and Gray. I know these are our main thoroughfares and certainly very large areas, but we continue to see, I think, very tragic collisions as a result of speed. And so if we can continue to monitor those, especially as we head into the holiday time, that would really be appreciated. And last but not least, I do want to say thank you to my dear council colleagues, Alex Saab and Rick Rodriguez. You two are not just friends, you've been council colleagues, and your time in this dais, your leadership and the vision and the time that you have served this community and the work that we've done together has been so wonderful, and we are really going to miss you. Your work ethic and the vision that you've provided for this community is unparalleled. And so we just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. I will miss you, and I look forward to continuing to hear from you in the days to come. So, thank you. That will conclude my comments, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next up, we have Councilmember Sean Ashton.
All right, good evening, everyone. I'll try to keep my comments brief. A couple of things I wanted to bring up for staff would be over the past weekend, there were some reports and pictures of bounce houses up at Wilderness Park. And, you know, I wasn't aware that the park was actually opened yet for the public to use, but if we can keep an eye on that, especially with this weekend being like a holiday weekend, I don't know if we really should be encouraging people to kind of have group gatherings where we're having bounce houses and the such there. So if we can have staff look into patrolling that area as well, especially over the weekend, would be really helpful. Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, for bringing up the issues at Apollo Park again. I just spoke to one of the residents there on Monday, and she expressed some additional concerns that were still occurring, but was overall pleased with the what we've been doing to try to deal with some of these issues. And I've already spoken to city manager about them, and we're working on those as we speak. So thank you for that. One other thing that came up that I wanted staff to look into, and I believe a couple of my colleagues have been blasted on this, as far as the old Cadillac site and the tearing down of the structure that was there. I'm pretty sure we all got a report on that from our business development director, Aldo Schindler. Basically, that structure that was torn down was basically it was unsafe, and it was going to fall down pretty soon anyhow. And so that was the main reason for getting access to, or allowing something like that to happen, even though a portion of the public believes that was a historic structure. brings me to this thought. We've tried to tackle this in years past, and I feel like I want to try to take another shot at this. So I want to see if we can work on a preservation ordinance to see with structures that are still considered historic, to see if there's some way that we can protect those structures that are left in our city. So I would like to see if there's something that we can do as a council to work on the preservation of our historic structures. With that said, just hopefully we can work on that pretty somewhat quickly. Also had the opportunity to be at the firefighters memorial opening for our to share our thoughts and our prayers with those two families that have gone through a traumatic event serving our Downey Fire Department, and that monument was something that I was glad that our council supported, and even though when we passed it back in or when we initially started looking at it back in 2018, I thought it'd be done pretty quickly. That was the longest 3 months that I thought it would be, but I'm very happy that we were able to get that done. And thank you to Chief Gillespie, not only for his diligence on that project, but just your 31 years of service on Downey City Council, or on Downey in the city of Downey. So thank you for everything with that, and thank you city staff for working on that as well. And two more things. So this is our last meeting for two of our colleagues, Alex and Rick. And even though we might not be on the same page on certain topics, I know that I always listen to your input, both of you, on a lot of what we do in the city. And even though I might not agree with some of it, I truly am thankful for the opportunity to have served with you two. I think you have been excellent council members, and and whatever happens after you're done and when I'm done in 2 years, hopefully we can continue to just work together on whatever issues might occur in the city to help with keeping Downey, to steal Rick's line, to keep Downey moving forward. So thank you for your service, both of you. I will truly miss you personally, even though we tend to disagree on a few things. I feel that you guys have been outstanding council members. And finally, just wanted to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. And if you know of somebody that is not going to be able to celebrate Thanksgiving due to whatever issues, members of the New Season Church have sent me information that they're going to be having a Thanksgiving lunch that I posted on my Facebook page. I'm sure there's more information on Facebook as well. But they will, New Season Church will be doing a Thanksgiving lunch, I'm assuming, because it's from 11 to 1. Please, if you know of somebody that is in need of that, please steer them towards that organization, so that way they can at least have a Thanksgiving meal. And with that, that concludes my comments. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And next we have Councilmember Rick Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you for allowing me to sit in this seat. This is a monumental meeting. Sean, he said 9 things about me and Alex in the same breath, and he mentioned church. So thank you, Sean. Thank you for doing that. A couple of things. We've already mentioned the fire memorial dedication and the Toro City Library and Downey Police Department. We recently had a ribbon cutting for a new pizza place or restaurant in our city, which is the toughest way to make $1 in our city. The Paper Pizza on Lakewood and Gallatin just opened up this past week, and now looks like they have some challenges going forward. And I sit on the board for SIACA. Hopefully, our new mayor, incoming mayor, will really take that SIACA board membership that's serious. And I think that Claudia, they're going through some tough times. SIACA's going through some real tough times right now. They're for the very first time in a long time. They're facing layoffs and cutbacks and things of that nature. because of, nobody's getting their dog's license anymore, having procedures done on their dogs, or adopting dogs, and or cats. So please, I just ask you to take a special ear to that. And to Sean's point about New Season Church LA, Calvary Chapel Downey doing the same thing. It's a drive-through Thanksgiving. They give food away to anybody, and they're looking for people to come and those in need just come show up and feed their families. One thing I want to kind of bring up real quick, Gilbert, is the art at 2nd and Downey Avenue. We've talked about this 100 times, and it just seems like now we're getting more and more kids that are skateboarding there. Some people sent me pictures this morning skateboarding those beautiful brand new benches and really damaging them, as well as carving into the pavement. And the art piece was meant to be a guy standing on his hands and change falling from his pocket that's falling into the ground.
Right.
Well, some knucklehead thought it'd be a great idea to take a screwdriver and carve out that change. So now it's been vandalized.
Yeah.
So if we can just take a good look at that, and then
We will.
And then the last thing I just want to mention, and this has nothing to do with anything other than this is one of our last meetings, and so I want to speak to you in leadership in the city. Alex hit the nail on the head when we talked about Dean. I did too. It's funny you said that. I picked up on that right away. I don't care if you're a volunteer in the police department, if you're a civilian employee, if you're a detective, if you're a guy that works in a tactical job. He acknowledged every single person, and that is the epitome of leadership when it comes to me. I've grown a company from 1 employee to 3,000, and I'll tell you that I want to know every single person that works in my organization. I want them to run through fire with me and for me, and not over a quarter or a nickel, because they believe in me. And I think that's why we kept our fire chief here for 31 years. He believed in the city of Downey. He believed in Gilbert Levis as city manager. He believed in the council. And so those of you that are department heads for other departments like Public Works or Parks and Rec or assistant city manager, whatever your job may be, if it's bringing people to the library and Space Center, or it's just, dealing with Sacramento, any person that's in this room, your leadership is that guy sitting over there. And your leadership is extremely important, that you see his vision and the vision of people that sit in this council. And I think that now that you have 2 new fresh faces that don't know you, that don't know anything about you, and so they're going to think of themselves first, and think of what they can do to serve themselves first. And so the other 3 up here, they kind of coach them and remind them who you really are and what you really do for the city. So I just want to thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being the leaders that you are. And now Dan is our new fire chief, and God bless you. And I hope that you take this thing to the next level, and I'm sure you will. And I told Mark when he was talking about retirement, I told him, in my organization, nobody leaves their job for promotion or retirement until they find their replacement. Well, he found you. He found you, and Gilbert found you, and we found you. We found you because we believe in you. So now it's your job, and it's Dean's job, and it's it's everyone's job in this room. It's a department head to find your replacement, and stay here. Don't leave for a nickel. Don't leave for a quarter. Stay here and build my city. Help to continue to build my city, because that's what it takes. It takes a cohesive council here. We don't know what's coming. Hopefully it's going to be great. I pray that it's wonderful. We don't know what's coming. So we need for you guys to really understand from my heart, and hopefully I speak for my council colleagues, from our hearts to yours. Thank you, and God bless you guys. Let me sit in this seat.
Thank you. That was really touching. Thank you. So I just want to first start off just with welcoming everyone who's watching us virtually. Unfortunately, we had to close our council chambers to the public due to the rising number of COVID cases here in LA County. I did want to mention a couple of events that I attended. November 14th, we held a fire memorial plaque dedication, which was also mentioned by my council colleagues. We memorialized firefighters Wolf and Oleg, and these were brave firefighters who passed away at a very young age. They passed away at the age of 44. It was a very nice and touching dedication ceremony. And so I want to thank our fire chief for being in attendance, and our incoming fire chief also. We have some amazing firefighters. It was nice to meet the families of those firefighters. So I also want to thank you for your 31 years of service. We hope that you continue to come visit us here in Downey, and not to forget about us. I know you live far away, but you're always welcome to join us here at City Hall. Also, last Tuesday, I recognized a band here in our city. The band is called Liliac. It's a rock band, very talented young members who appeared on America's Got Talent. They have left our city to Georgia, but I had the pleasure of meeting them and recognizing them last week, and I was able to have the good fortune of having our Mayor Pro Tem and also Council Member Sean Ashton. And like was previously mentioned, our Downey Library is reaching completion. The only thing missing are books, which we're in the process of moving those books in because you need books in a library and people. So I want to thank Councilmember Alex Saab for those pictures. I think you should be our city photographer now. But thank you to our city manager, Livas, and assistant city manager, Ascui, for all the hard work. The library looks amazing. Each section is color-coded, so you have one color for the kids section, one for the young adult section, and one for the adult section. So I'm excited to have eventually the public be able to come and visit our library, hopefully sometime next year with books. And I also had the pleasure of touring our police station, so I want to thank our Police Chief Milligan and Captain Murray. Thank you for the tour. And like was also mentioned, you do a great job with our police department. I see there are officers that truly admire and respect your leadership, so thank you for your service. And I also attended the ribbon cutting for Paper Pizza, which is a new restaurant here in our city. So I hope you're able to visit the restaurant, maybe not for dining on site, but hopefully for delivery or for pickup. And the Thanksgiving Family Fest that was mentioned will be a drive-through feast, will be a drive-through event. This will be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is being held by New Season, LA, and the address is 9001 Paramount Boulevard. Again, it is a drive-through event for families that need meals during this Thanksgiving day. And also there is another event coming up. We have a Santa's Candy Cane Lane drive-through event that will be held on Saturday, December 5th from 2 to 6 p.m. here at the Downey Civic Center. Santa Claus is coming to Downey to distribute free holiday treats. The event is free, but the public must pre-register for a 1-hour time slot. So please visit downeyca.org/PR to get more information. And I also just want to thank my council colleagues and former mayors, Alex Saab and Rick Rodriguez. I'm not saying goodbye because I know I will see you both in the community. And I know you'll still be engaged and involved with our Kiwanis clubs. So I want to thank you both for 8 years and 4 years of service. This may be your last full council meeting, but I know we will see you also at our council meeting on December 8th. But you are both amazing individuals who love to serve, and I have appreciated dearly serving alongside both of you. I've learned from both of you, so thank you very much. And that concludes my comments. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Now is the time for non-agenda public comment. Before we begin the non-agenda public comment period, I would like to remind members of the public participating telephonically that the city's meeting rules contained in the Downey Municipal Code prohibit any conduct that disrupts, disturbs, or interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting, even if you are participating telephonically. Each speaker shall have 3 minutes to address the council on issues that are within the city's jurisdiction. Since we are under a federal, state, and local emergency declaration in Los Angeles County Safer at Work and in the community order, I will limit this non-agenda public comment period to 30 minutes pursuant to Downey Municipal Code Section 2105G. Members of the public who wish to address the city council regarding non-agenda items may now call our teleconference line at 562-299-6622. For those who submitted comments via email, your comments will be read into the record and no further public comment via teleconference will be permitted. City Clerk Duarte, do we have any written correspondence on non-agenda items to be read into the record?
We do, Mayor. The first correspondence is an email from Robert Sanchez. Hello, my name is Robert, and I am an organizer with the Party for Socialism and Liberation here in Downey. I wanted to call in to congratulate our community for voting for true change. We all know that the rents and the mortgages have to be canceled. That is why District 3 voted for a tenant advocate for the council. It's time for the city council to do everything in its power to help Downey families. Other countries have already canceled rents and mortgages, and Downey can show the rest of the U.S. government how it's done. Thank you to everyone working for change, for an economy that serves the people, not an economy controlled by the criminal banks. Mayor Pacheco, please work with Catherine Alvarez and stand up for the people. You said during your campaign that you want to help tenants, so the time is now. It's time for rent and mortgage forgiveness. Downey can lead the way. Thank you. Next, we have an email from Josephine Garcia. Good evening. I'd like to congratulate Catherine Alvarez on winning Downey City Council seat District 3. It is crucial cities in LA County form tenant unions. It seems at a time when the multimillionaires and billionaires get out of paying their taxes every day, people's wages are not keeping up with the inflated cost of living. As the cost of housing continues to rise ever so rapidly, corporate landlords are raising rents by the hundreds from one month to the next in spite of the pandemic. I commend Catherine Alvarez for stepping up to the plate and organizing Downey Tenants Union. Sincerely, J. Flores Garcia. Next, we have an email from Brandon Clint. Hello, is there any plan to help cancel rent for landlords and tenants? Everyone is suffering right now. There is precedent for it. I just don't think anyone currently elected has the guts to see it through. Just look to Ithaca, New York's example. We must use our voices to voice our concerns here in our city government and have them push the change we need in the state and federal level. And then he provided a link to ithacavoice.com. Next, we have an email from Diane Lomelli. Hello and thank you. We need to cancel rent and mortgage and help people stay in their homes. Please make the pandemic a true priority and do more. Next, we have an email from Michael Ray. My name is Michael Ray. I reside at 9639 Cheddar Street, Downey, California, 90242. Public nuisance, Hully Gully Bar to the residences nearby. And he provided a link to the Downey Patriot letter to the editor. And then last, we have a correspondence from Mr. Lee Squire. Firefighter Memorial Presentation, Dedication. On Saturday, November 14, 2020, there was a presentation dedication to the families of Downey's 2 firefighters whose plaques are on the fire memorial. When will the pedestal and dedication plaque be installed? Given the police memorial was dedicated on September 22nd, 2011, 10-year anniversary of 9/11, honoring police officer who was killed in 1981? Why was there no similar memorial for Downey firefighter who died in 1985 from cancer from job-related exposure? That is all, Mayor, as far as correspondence, and then we have 4 calls.
Thank you. City Clerk Duarte, can we take the first caller?
Yes. Please state your name and begin speaking.
Yes, Mommy, it's me again. I get my 3 minutes. Okay. Let's start off with talking about all the Brown Act violations of one Blanca Pacheco, attorney at law. Let's begin first with inability to access the meeting. I have to go on YouTube tonight, Mommy, to listen to the meeting because you disconnected the Zoom. And when people are on the Zoom and they raise their hand, we have been recording you for 3 months now that you never take public comment ever from the public when you're on Zoom. So the only way that I can speak is I have to go on another phone and I have to keep dialing. And you never pick up the phone until you tell the clerk intentionally to pick it up and hang it up as quickly as possible so you can have as few public speakers as possible. In conspiracy to violate the First Amendment, select speakers based on their content and discriminate for them being white niggers. So I think it's time to alert your city attorney that a claim for First Amendment retaliation may be in order, or maybe if you could provide me a free Snickers bar for Thanksgiving, I can pick it up on Downey Boulevard. I usually search in the trash cans for cans and bottles, but I haven't found any free Snickers bars. And then tonight, you excluded all of the public without prior notice, sending not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 large, black, heavily armed police militia to clear the council chambers of the building of the few public members of the audience who wish to attend. That's what your agenda said. Now you said, I'm going to change the rules because I'm not Blanca Pacheco. I'm Her Majesty Fraulein Blanca Pacheco. I am a Vishain Nazi of Downey, and I'm going to run things just like I'm a member of the royal family. So congratulations, Mr. Bob, as you go.
Okay, thank you.
Please state your name and begin speaking.
Hello, my name is Gab Gabriel. I'm a resident of Downey. I'm calling in because I hear today is the last meeting for 2 council members, and I just wanted to thank them both. Number 1, Mr. Rodriguez, for his service, and we wish you could stay another term, but health is wealth. Who understands you? And Alex Saab, a great friend, a great mentor, great buddy. I wanted to thank you both very much for your service, and best of luck going forward. And City of Downey was lucky to have both of you guys serving on City Council. You guys are great role models, great examples, and we look forward to seeing what else you guys got in store for us. So thank you.
Thank you. Please state your name and begin speaking.
Mommy, why did you not let us into the meeting and you escorted us out with those
It's the same person, same caller.
Please state your name and begin speaking.
Hi, this is Joey from the city of Downey. First of all, I'd like to make a quick statement. I'm proud of everyone who ran for city council. We built up a movement and we have a lot of people that are willing to continue to work hard and continue to grow this progressive base. I'm glad that we were able to stop Trump supporter Eric Pierce in the 3rd District and take that seat away from Mario Guerra's fingers and Rick Rodriguez's fingers. With that said, I'm going to focus now on letting you know some of the problems and issues we had with Blanca Pacheco during that campaign process. Blanca Pacheco had her people putting signs in areas where she didn't have permission to do so. She removed some of her opponent's signs without permission from the owners of the land. Not only that, on November 3rd, on election day, when candidates had a right to be 100 feet away from the polling sites, Blanca Pacheco called some of her business buddies to have all the candidates removed. Particularly, we were approached by Rick Rodriguez's security team that was trying to remove us and tell us to leave during a public event where the people have the right to vote. That's a violation of constitutional rights. That's a violation of civil rights. For Rick Rodriguez's security team to come and tell Martha Camacho Rodriguez, me, Juan Martinez, and Alex Contreras to abandon the premises so that people like Mario Trujillo and Alex and Blanca Pacheco could come in and put her lackeys, that is unacceptable, and that is un-American and undemocratic. We're going to tell you right now that we're not going to stand for this. We're going to continue to work hard against you, and then we're going to make sure that every criminal act and every corrupt action that you take in our city gets noticed and posted out to the public so that people can hold you accountable as you try to continue your dirty work here in Downey. So with that said, I'm going to make it clear. When it comes to Prometa, who you live in my district, the 4th District, I hope that you're ready for your campaign because it's going to be exciting. We're excited to hold you accountable and make sure that everyone knows what type of dirty corporate hag you are. With that said, that ends my public comment. And
Is he done?
That little boy, she's all that whining.
Please state your name and begin speaking.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
Oh, hi. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. This is Paula Mejia, and I'm calling in regard to Downey Chamber of Commerce, and I want to invite or make an announcement that we will be having our first virtual Christmas parade, and the date will be announced. It will be done very nicely in our city, and we will be giving or showing the location and also the date. I just want to invite everyone to be, alert on that. So thank you for giving me the opportunity for this message. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
The last one. Please state your name and begin speaking.
Hi, my name is Alexandria, and I'm calling in regards to a Downey Patriot statement that the City Council is going to be opposing an emergency resolution. I'm considering an emergency resolution opposing LA County's decision on prohibiting outdoor dining at restaurants.
Actually, that's on the agenda.
That's on consent calendar.
That's
Ms. Contreras.
Measures to keep our businesses safe
we can
by extending the amount of time people have to pay back their rent, or a stronger eviction moratorium for small businesses. Downey has some of the highest cases in all of Southeast LA County, and I do not understand why our city council is taking steps against a safety measure that is supposed to keep all of us safe. But considering our current city council members have been sitting in the chambers without wearing masks, I'm not too surprised to hear that this motion has been brought forward. Please protect our small businesses by not allowing them to be evicted or pursuing more aggressive measures to find grant funding to help them stay afloat and tide them over. Thank you.
Is there any other?
We have 4.
Okay.
Please state your name and begin speaking.
Let's hang up.
Please state your name and begin speaking.
I still have 2 minutes of general public comment. Why you hang up on me? It's Herman for the record. What, you got your chonies in a knot? Why are you so upset, Mommy? You know, loosen up. You might get your wishbone, a turkey. Less troubling is that we have a new president. And as far as I can see, as I say nothing politically wrong, lest this country be fucked for another 4 years. Never in the history has a stupid, biased, prejudiced, 40-year veteran politicians done anything right. Woo, woo. So you see, Mommy, translations measure to general public comment. And when we get to consent, I plan to speak about the ADA. I plan to speak about Measure S. And I plan to talk about why God hates fucking homosexuals. You hear that, Rick, on your way out? God hates homosexuals. So tell the LAPT niggers to stop sticking their dirty batons up those young cadets' assholes. What a small world, right? What about Furman? What about Mario's big speech? Fucking grandpa, stay home. They wasted money on those measures, and they're asking for more bonds and grants to finish the project they didn't complete. So shove it. $42 million in Measure S, and the library's not even finished. Another fucking broken record. You sound like Catherine Barfer. Bleh. Bye, Mommy.
Are there any other speakers?
Yeah, that's the same number. Please state your name and begin speaking.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. My name is David Gonzalez. Good evening, Madam Mayor, again, and fellow council members there on the county council. I wanted to call in this evening, recognize 2 council members and colleagues, Councilman Rick Rodriguez and Councilman Alex Saab. 2 dear men in this community that have been so vested and so committed during their tenure. I'll start with Alex. Alex, just want to thank you on behalf of the community, on behalf of my friends and family that recognize your dedication and commitment to the city of Downey. I know many times and many sacrifices that you and your family have made throughout the years on behalf of your commitment and service to the Downey community. I refer to maybe time you couldn't spend with your family on a certain day or a certain weekend in the name of representing the city of Downey and being the ambassador and the great ambassador that you were for your 8 years and during your 8-year tenure on the council. So leave with your head high. Again, we thank you. We're in debt to you. And we look forward to what's to come after your tenure. We know you're still going to be engaged and still be involved. We definitely look forward to that. So congratulations, Alex, and thanks for the 8 years on the city council. Councilman Rodriguez, these past 4 years, again, what stands out to me, again, is all the work and everything you champion on behalf of the military veterans in the city of Downey. I think was unprecedented. And I definitely hope some of your colleagues will continue championing as well as you did for the military veterans in this community. It was so important and definitely will be part of your legacy as you exit the council. I think your work also with the clergy council, to me, was very impressive. Rick, how you organized all the different churches and faith communities in the city of Downey. The way you did that and how you did that was unbelievable. I also hope someone of your colleagues continues the work you did in organizing those communities, which I believe ultimately benefits the community at large. So thank you, Rick, again. I tip my hat to you. Thanks for your leadership, and God bless both of you.
Thank you, David.
Good evening.
One more call, Mayor. Hello, please state your name and begin speaking.
Hello, it's Rodolfo. I wanted to call in, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, giving thanks. I want to give the mayor actually thanks for something that she doesn't get a lot of credit for. And that is that last year, around the same time, she opposed a bill. And it was very important for community members to oppose this bill. The bill was SB 50. So what SB 50 would have done is it would have changed zoning. And, the supporters of this bill, like Alexandra Contreras, kept saying, to fix the housing issue, you just got to build more. So to build more, you change the zoning. No. It's not about supply. It's about the fact that people don't have the cash to buy this really expensive housing that the developers build. So again, I want to thank the mayor for opposing that. The fact that Downey did not push for that. It was a toxic bill because it's a toxic idea. As the callers at the very beginning of this public comment session were saying, housing is a human right. Of course, the government should do everything in its power to ensure that people are housed, especially during a pandemic, during the holidays. It's like a double issue. We need to care about the people, and that's why I'm very happy that, the housing situation right now in Downey is not great. The rents keep going up and up, as people have noted, but we can't just build our way out of housing, as I think the mayor, through her opposition to SB 50, showed. So again, I want to thank the mayor for that. And I also want to thank her because I think, my issue, as everyone knows, is very much housing. So as far as housing, thank you, Mayor, for the fact that you actually did start to prioritize tenants, certainly in your campaign over the last year. So I think this is evidence that, when the people speak up, the government listens, and that's very important because this is a very important issue. So to that, I truly hope that the council members think it over and realize that this is such an important issue. It's important to have leaders on this issue continue their position. So I don't agree with Eric Pierce that Claudia Permetta should just be anointed the next mayor. How about look at all the rest of the candidates, including mayor herself. The mayor has shown some really good things this year, especially in terms of housing. So it's important to keep on going. Don't listen to Eric Pierce, and certainly don't listen to the person who dares call her constituents hooligans, a mob, and worse. This is unacceptable.
Thank you.
Time is up.
Are there any other callers?
No, Mayor.
Is there a motion to close public comment?
Please.
Second?
Please.
All right. Public comment period now closed.
Thank you, Lord.
Consent calendar. Now is the time for consent calendar items. Madam City Attorney, is there an agenda item that needs to be added to the consent calendar?
Yes. We have an item to add to the consent calendar as item 13A. The title of the agenda item is Adopt a Resolution of the City Council of the City of Downey supporting action by the County Board of Supervisors to repeal the new outdoor dining restrictions effective November 25th, 2020. Under the Brown Act, we can add an item to the agenda if, one, the item came to the attention of the city after the agenda was posted on November 19th, and two, there's a need to take action tonight. The Brown Act findings, as I've just stated, can be made for this item to be added. One, the item came to the attention of the city today when the Board of Supervisors upheld the LA County Public Health Department's new health order regarding restaurants. And number two, the resolution before the council must be considered and action taken today, as the order takes effect tomorrow for 3 weeks, and waiting will detrimentally impact our local businesses who are subject to the order. The item can be added by the City Council as 13A on the consent calendar with 4/5 vote of the council. It would be appropriate at this time to take action and have the city clerk take a roll call vote.
Okay, can we take a roll call vote, please?
We'll need a motion and a second.
Is there a motion?
1 second.
Can we take a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Ashton,
No.
Councilmember Rodriguez,
Yes.
Councilmember Saab, Mayor Pro Tem Frometa, and Mayor Pacheco.
Yes.
So the motion carries 4 in favor and 1 opposed.
Thank you. Members of the public wishing to address the City Council regarding consent calendar items may now call our teleconference line at 562-299-6622. For those who submitted comments via email, your comments will be read into the record and no further public comment via teleconference will be permitted. City Clerk Duarte, do we have any written correspondence on consent calendar items to be read into the record?
Yes, Mayor, we have correspondence from Lee Squire in regards to item number 11. Consent item number 11, amendment to the City of Downey's Conflict of Interest Code. I did not see the Measure S Oversight Committee being involved as to required FPPC Form 700 filers.
For that one, I just want to make a note that that committee was expressly excluded from the Form 700 filing because they just are an oversight board, and that was contained in the voter-approved ordinance, that they be excluded from Form 700 reporting.
Thank you. Thank you for the explanation. Any other?
No more correspondence to read, but
do we have any speakers?
Yes, we do. One moment, please. Please state your name and begin speaking.
It's me, Mommy. I want to talk about the ban on outdoor dining, if I may. Can I do it? Thank you. Now, I love outdoor dining. I do it all the time. And one of the things that tonight happened was the city of Los Angeles, my original mommy, Nuri Martinez, I love her. She sponsored a motion that passed opposing the county's order and opening up dining to all the people. So today, my mommy Catherine Barber and my mommy Janice Hahn, my 2 county mommies, they passed a motion to good faith, and it was 3-2. You know what happened? It failed. So the only way that Mommy Blanca can possibly stop this is if the city of Downey has its own health department. Currently, Pasadena has its own health department, and Long Beach But that pretty gay mayor has its own health department too, Mommy Blanca. Therefore, they're going to allow outdoor dining, and they can do it. Now, who voted for the ban? Hilda Soley and Sheila Kuehl and that big fat monkey Mark Ridley Thomas decided the casting vote of 3-2. Destroying businesses, annihilating dreams, and causing poor Alex Saab to not be able to eat outdoors this Thanksgiving. So please, everybody, if you live in Downey, go to Long Beach or go to Pasadena, where there are white people in charge with some fucking brains, and you can eat at a restaurant with real silverware and plates, and including linen. I didn't know you could use linen, but that's what they dine on, white people. Now, when I eat outside, I need to relieve myself, so I would make a motion that if you allow outdoor dining, that you put an anti-dump at every place.
Are there any other callers?
Yes, Mayor. Please state your name and begin speaking.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So right now, in regards to you guys trying to overturn the state to make sure that we don't have people dining outside, I don't get how idiotic some of these council members can be. The numbers of COVID-19 are surging. They're going higher and breaking records across the damn country. More people are getting sick and dying with medical conditions that take medical bills that are putting people, making people homeless and making them broke. This is a perfect example of how Blanca Pacheco will say she's following state ordinance or she's following the county rules when it benefits her, but then turn around and say that we don't need them when it doesn't benefit her. That's hypocrisy at its best. And I'd be surprised to think that Blanca Pacheco would approve such an idiotic thing, but her mom on the school board wants to send students back during a pandemic crisis. So this is the kind of idiocy that you see coming down the family line tree. And we cannot be empowering people like her who don't care about people, who don't look at medical research, who are not listening to the health experts, and instead are listening to the Chamber of Commerce and all the people that put money in their pockets. It is disgusting that as this pandemic is getting worse, we have Blanca Pacheco on the internet telling people to stay at home and not having parties. Good, you should be doing that. But they're not doing the right choices when it comes to businesses. You're a two-faced person. And it is disgusting that you ran a dirty campaign to keep that seat, and now you're going to go back to the same crap by doing all this idiotic stuff, like supporting businesses, maintaining dining rooms outside, when the entire state, even the dumb governor, recognized that has been one of the major problems with this coronavirus. We need real people to serve our community, and that is clearly not you or Claudia Prometa. So we look forward to working with progressives to make sure that you are outed to the people and that we see change as we move along. Thank you.
Please.
Mommy, I'm back.
It was Herman.
We're going to talk about COVID-19 to rescind. Follow the protocol for restaurants. Well, I got something very
Isn't it? It's Herman, isn't it?
Fuck your rules. We're going to stop.
Let's hang up. Herman. It's Herman?
Yes.
You already spoke.
We're going to go out to Pasadena.
Yeah.
No, again, I gotta get off this fucking bullshit of
I thought he already spoke.
If the niggas wanna eat watermelon, go
He's
out
already
and get
spoken,
your
so
food
can we
and
hang up on
die.
him?
He's already spoke.
I'm on item number 6 now. Authorize solutions for construction bid, you stupid schmuck. Regarding concrete, you ought to stick some in your
Excuse me,
butthole
who
so you
is
can
this that's
plug
calling?
yourself up for COVID.
It's Herman.
This way I can have an EDA improvement.
It's Herman.
And I can woof, woof, woof.
It's Herman.
While you escort me out of the citywide capital improvement projects. And then on item 8 regarding measure S, fuck you too on infrastructure. And then I go to item 13, fuck 13, but I like the number 13, like Rick Rodriguez, like 666. And then I'm gonna go to item number 3. Regarding the third street payment rehabilitation. Well, first of all, you gotta think black.
If this is the same speaker that spoke for at the beginning of this particular public comment, then he has no right to speak again.
Then let's hang up because it's Herman. It's Herman. It's So hang up. He already admitted it. It's hang up. Herman. If it's Herman, then we have to hang up again. Yeah.
Hello, please state your name and begin speaking.
Hi there, my name is Ness. I live and work in Downey. I have the displeasure of being an essential worker throughout this pandemic, opting to keep outdoor dining as selfish and vile. COVID cases have been rising, and Downey would rather have service workers die for businesses and the economy instead of just closing. Work on allocating money to these businesses by defunding the police department. Freeze rent or cancel them altogether. People forget that service workers have to go to work out of necessity, not because they enjoy serving people without masks. The least we can do for them is have restaurants just do takeout orders. I have family members that work in the ER in a local hospital. We are putting strain on healthcare workers and first responders by allowing unnecessary dining out for people who think that COVID isn't real or that there is a high survival rate for it.
Please state your name and begin speaking.
Hey, it's me again. So I'd like to comment on this issue. The restaurants, why are the restaurants open? It's because everyone's scrambling. Obviously, this tragedy has happened to our world, to our society, and the government's not helping in the sense that, they could just print the money for the restaurants and everyone else to stay afloat, but they refuse. So again, I'm trying to, hopefully we need change, very positive change. Ms. Mayor, have you called our congresswoman? Remember that we had the discussion about appropriating funds? Restaurants could stay afloat, appropriate funds. We need the money printed into existence to help the people, to help the business, to help the community. It should all be avoided. Print the money. And if the Congress, like our congresswoman, refuses to push for that, because of course she does, why can't we just cancel them? What? You think, if the restaurants go there because they can't pay their rent, their commercial rent, what? You think the government's not going to bail out the banks? The Congress will bail out the banks in a second. Why can't the people get a bailout? It's time for the people's bailout. The restaurant owners deserve a bailout. Please, it's time. Call up our Congresswoman. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
Please state your name and begin speaking.
Yes, my name is Joseph,
Yes, go ahead.
and I'm calling because I do approve of the moratorium. Sorry, the moratorium to continue to allow restaurants to continue operating their businesses. And the reason why is that I know several people, more than like 8 or 10 families, that had received COVID, and they recovered. They recovered with it within a week to 2 weeks. I have 2 friends that got COVID, and they recovered. None of them had died because of COVID. Now, I don't want anyone to get COVID, but if we continue to do all these restrictions, it's going to force more small mom and pop shops to go out of business. And we cannot allow this. Our economy, we must have an economy that is strong. And so therefore, I do support Blanca Pacheco and everyone except Sean Ashton. Sean, go to hell.
Please state your name and begin speaking.
Yeah, my name is JJ Tavares.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, did you know that quarantine is when you restrict the movement of sick people? Tyranny is when you restrict the movement of healthy people. Stupidity is when you can't tell the difference. I just wanted to express myself. And for the record, I'm friends with Gab Gabriel. Good guy. I hope he runs for city council real soon. Even though you guys are all doing a great job, I want to see him up there one day. Thank you.
Thank you.
That is all.
Please state your name and begin speaking.
David Bowers, residence Downey. I just would like to speak in favor of your motion. I believe your motion is to oppose the county health officer's position that the restaurant should not be doing outdoor dining. So I agree with the fact that we need to keep the economy going forward. And we can't be cowed by fear of things. There are certain people who do have to be concerned and take better care of themselves and be mindful, but we can't crush everyone else's livelihood in the hopes of that. There is no free money and there is no free lunch. There is no printing of anything. And if they print, the people on the bottom will still be on the bottom. So that's not really a way out of this situation, as some of the people have suggested. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Please state your name and begin speaking.
Buenas tardes, yo soy el ciudadano del 4º distrito aquí en la ciudad de Downey. Estoy llamando hoy para
Yes, Joey.
decir de que este
Joey
concilio
spoke
está
already.
lleno de
So hang
gente que nomás le importa el dinero.
Nice try, buddy.
Are there any other speakers?
Right, good call.
How many speakers do we have?
We have 3 more calls.
Okay.
2. Well, one person already talked and he called again.
Okay, so we'll skip that one.
Please state your name and begin speaking.
Talk about
Who is
Downey, outdoor dining.
Wayne from Encino. Okay.
Support my local businesses. Yeah, I think that.
What What item is he speaking on? Sir, we can't hear you. We need to know what item you're speaking on. If we can't hear you, we're gonna hang up.
I believe he spoke already. I have it. Yeah, Wayne Spindler spoke already.
He's not on topic. Let's hang up.
He's not. His life's not on top.
Please state your name and begin speaking.
Hi, my name is David Sanchez, resident of Downey.
Yes, go ahead.
And I just wanted to speak in response to the speaker who just called in earlier, who said that we can't print money. I just want to remind everyone that we're Americans who live in America, and the beauty about living in the United States is that we very much can print the money. And now is the time that we need to, remind everybody that we need to rally together around our city government and remind ourselves that the problem that we're being faced with is a virus. It's not an economic problem. The solution is to get people to stay home and to pay them to stay home. So please consider canceling the rents or letting someone, find another solution that doesn't involve exposing people to the virus. Thank you.
Thank you.
Move to close public comment.
Second.
Okay, public comment period now closed. Are there any council members that would like to remove or abstain an item?
I'd like to pull item number 13. No, I'm sorry, 13A, the one that was added.
And I,
To discuss and
Abstain from item number 6. Parts of that project are within 1,000 feet of my home. So out of an abundance of caution, I'd like to abstain from item number 6.
Okay.
I also will be abstaining from item number 6. It's within 1,000 feet of my place of business, even though I don't have to, I will.
So I'll be abstaining from item number 3. It's near my home, and then item number 9, it's within one of my rental properties.
Okay, anything else? Okay, is there a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar?
Second.
Madam City Clerk, can we please take a roll call vote?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Ashton?
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Saab?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Frometa?
Yes.
And Mayor Pacheco.
Yes.
The consent calendar is approved with Councilmember Ashton abstaining from item number 6, Councilmember Saab abstaining from item number 6, and Councilman Rodriguez abstaining from items number 3 and 9, and Councilmember Saab pulling item number 13A for separate discussion.
Oh, yeah, 13.
Yes. Okay, great. So I actually also wanted to pull item number 13A.
So did I.
So I'm glad you pulled it.
Join the club.
Actually, I had some questions about this. I know Councilmember Saab pulled it, but this is before us on the agenda because of the County Board of Supervisors' decision today. And can we get clarification as to what happened at the County Board of Supervisors so that way everybody's informed? I don't know if there's anybody that can provide us information about that. Maybe.
I'll give you a little, actually, I think our assistant to the city manager may have been watching it. I don't know. Were you watching? Are you comfortable providing a? Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Vania.
So at today's LA County Board of Supervisors meeting, there was this particular discussion on the outdoor dining prohibition as part of the new health order that will take effect tomorrow. No other parts of the new health order was discussed. That was the main item. So basically, Supervisor Hahn and Supervisor Barger both said that they were opposed to the outdoor dining component that would prohibit it in LA County. The discussion primarily that they had was the reasoning behind it. They didn't feel there was enough scientific proof or correlation showing that the surges or the increases in case rates was correlation to the outdoor dining. Primarily, the discussions that have been had through press releases and through the elected officials briefing was mainly the private gatherings that were occurring in LA County. That is what has been pretty much has been creating the surges, which is what has been spoken to city officials and the public. So again, that was a discussion that is when they have heard, and now there's no much scientific background for the new order that will be taking place tomorrow. So Supervisor Hahn and Roger did vote against it, requesting that they repeal that component, and asked also that the current order that's in place stays in place for 2 weeks. But that did not go through, so it did not pass 3-2 today.
Okay. Are there any questions?
I do. So, yeah, I mean, that's the problem I have is number one, they're saying it's 3 weeks, which seems, I don't know, they pulled that number out just out of nowhere. And then number two, it's so broad. It seems like the data didn't support that these surges were coming. Was coming from restaurants. I think they attributed a possibility of 3% of the surge attributed to outdoor dining. And it seems like there could have been steps that they could have taken, not as drastic or draconian, and maybe reduce the percentage of allowance of allow the amount of people that could eat outside, or maybe not allow longer periods of gathering, maybe 30 minutes or whatever it may be. It seems so odd to me. Are we going to start restricting times inside? Are we going to start supermarkets? Are we going to start restricting, Costco, Walmart? It just seems so odd, and it just seems last time they did this, the effect on the small businesses, particularly the restaurants, it was devastating. So my question is, though, so this is a resolution, but it doesn't seem like, Mr. City Manager, can you explain what effect this would have, if any? Because
Sure. What it really is there are a number of cities that are opposed to the county's decision to shut down. As you've indicated, that there are other measures that can be taken prior to that that would help ease the spread. For example, closing earlier, they make no distinction between bars and restaurants. We know that bars are a big contributor to that. But bars have been opening up late. So there's not a distinction between bars and restaurants. There are things you can do to limit the capacity. One of the other things that you can do is limit the amount of time that a party can sit at a table to eat. So, for example, there are places where you would have 90 minutes and making sure that people turn around and reduce. So there are a number of steps that you can go to sort of ease the spread of it. And given the fact that this Board of Supervisors looked at it and said it was hard to come up with the scientific evidence that said that was it. We know that there's a great deal of spread coming from actually private homes and parties that are happening. We've experienced that here in Downey, where people are having parties where 50, 100 people.
And why did the Board of Supervisors not speak up when there was these protests with thousands of people on the street, right? And there was utter silence. But all of a sudden you have 40 people out eating outside of a restaurant, and now it's the world's coming to an end because of it. So that's the problem I have. So Frank, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah. So the question is, what's the effect of this resolution? Really, there are a number of cities that are getting together and saying that, hey, there are other measures that you can take before you get to that draconian, hey, no more outdoor dining. So I think that's really the effect is to say that as a city that you don't agree with it, you agree with the two board members that voted no, right? Because it was split, it was a 3-2 vote. So really that's the effect. Ultimately, it's going to be up to the Board of Supervisors, the Department of Health to do it. We don't have our own health department. Pasadena, for example, has its own health department, and Pasadena has chosen to keep outdoor dining open.
So we wouldn't have the authority to
No.
do it? Why not?
No, we don't have a health department. We're not. Most cities follow under the county health department order, and that's what we follow on. And there are only a few cities that have their own health department. Long Beach being one, Pasadena, I can't remember the others, but there's not too many.
But is that because is that just like just an understanding that we have? I know we have an arrangement with them, but does that mean that legally we can't, or is it just
Legally, yeah, that's, because, for example, the county is the one that inspects all restaurants, for example, for health codes, health violations. When a new restaurant opens, they go and make sure that all the equipment is up to code and all that. So we don't do that. That's, we do our building inspections, and the health department comes in and does all that. So that's a whole nother layer of organization and bureaucracy that we don't have. So if a city was going to do that, they would have to have a health director, health expert, and then all the staffing that goes along with that. And it just, for most cities, it doesn't make sense.
No, I get that. But I guess my question is, I took it off so you can hear me. Where's the legal basis though that we have to abide by their?
That's a legal question. I'll defer that to our
What's the
city
legal
attorney.
basis behind
My
it?
understanding is that under a general services agreement with the county, one of the services they provide is health department related services to the city of Downey. So it's a contractual. That we have a contractual relationship with the county to provide those services. So whatever they decide in terms of what we should be doing from a health perspective, we're bound to, because they are acting as our health department under a contractual arrangement.
Thank you. One of the things that I think it's important for us to bring up, and for those members of the community that are watching us on our YouTube channel, is why we voted to align and to support the action by the County Board of Supervisors to repeal the new outdoor dining restrictions. It is not because we are not seeing the numbers spike. Yes, we are fully aware that we are in this pandemic. We are fully aware that this is a public health emergency. But at the same time, we have to look at, the whole, all of this and all of the unintended consequences that shutting down our businesses bring to the communities. And once again, it was mentioned by Supervisor Hahn and also Catherine Barger during this afternoon's vote, is there's not enough data to support the reasoning why they need to shut down the restaurants. We could have, the same way they chose to maintain retail space open and bring it down to a 20% indoor capacity. Why not do that to our restaurants? Again, when we shut down businesses, and we saw that, and we've seen it across the country, we've seen it across the state, we've seen it across the Southeast communities. These restaurants, these small owned businesses, many of them are not coming back. And the people that these businesses feed, the families that they support, when we talk about all of the unintended consequences, this council hears a lot about the issues regarding rent and regarding individuals with food insecurities. Well, this is the reason why we are looking at this from a different lens. The problem is, and many of us sitting on this council, we've received many phone calls and emails from members of our community reporting large indoor gatherings. And so it's not just the restaurants that are contributing to this large spike. Now, we're 8 months into this pandemic. Unfortunately, when we began, people were more willing to adhere to those mandates. Unfortunately, overall, as much as we are seeing these numbers spike, people, I think there's a couple of things going on. We see that there's vaccines out in the 94.5 efficacy rate, and also that people see the arbitrary guidelines behind this. So again, I want the members of the public that are watching us tonight to really understand that from a community standpoint and from a business perspective, we are aware that that is happening, and we really want to continue to ask members of this community to adhere to the public guidelines. But at the same time, we can't sit back and look at these arbitrary, draconian mandates when there's not sufficient data to support the complete shutdown on businesses when people are just barely getting back on their feet, especially those folks that have just come back to, the restaurant. Restaurants have invested in some tents and heaters, etc. And so we need to be looking at, the whole perspective. And again, there's no easy answers, but we need to fully understand that there's all of these intended consequences. And the same application that the supervisors and the same vote that they took to allow indoor retail space, and now it's down to 20%, the same guidelines could have been thought about and given to these outdoor places, from 50% that was mandated by the governor just recently to maybe 30%. And again, as our city manager and council member Sabi, you mentioned, there's already been guidelines established for the amount of time that you could be in an outdoor dining space. So I think from our city standpoint, we want to do well, and we want to continue to support guidelines that keep our community safe. We have said before, we're not going to be punitive, and we're not going to be sending our police department, even though they have been getting many calls. And we have gotten calls from neighborhoods reporting these indoor gatherings, very large indoor gatherings. And so I think it's so unfair and arbitrary to penalize the business community, especially the restaurants. And as you've indicated, City Manager Livas, the bars are a different topic. But that's, Madam Mayor, that's my comment and the background of why I supported this resolution to repeal the new outdoor dining restrictions.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments? My council.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, thank you for the time. I'm not really on board with this resolution in the sense that we're basically saying we shouldn't do nothing. We're asking the county to basically go back to kind of what has been happening before. And I not that I agree with the complete closing of things, but the way we're looking at things now, like outdoor dining isn't really outdoor dining anymore when you look at it. You mentioned that they're bringing in tents, and they're pretty much enclosing a lot of these spaces due to the fact that it's getting cold. And so we have these pseudo outdoor spaces that aren't really outdoors because you have walls on the tents. And so we're encouraging people to go to eat outdoors when it's not really outdoors. And for me, I haven't been going to eat out very often because I don't want to, further this pandemic even further, even though I've not tested positive for anything. I don't want to be the one person that can start this and continue these things. And I would hope that by following, the guidelines that we do know that you should continue to wear your mask, you should continue to social distance. Those are things that we do know. But encouraging people to go out to eat, it to me is something that as much as I feel for the business community, I don't see how doing this absolute ban is going to help or hurt. It's too much to ban it. But then what we're asking them to do is to kind of go back to nothing again. And there's a way that we can do this where we can ask for, maybe something in between. But what we're asking them to do is to kind of swing the pendulum all the way back to what's been allowed. And I don't support
No, but
But we're not.
Councilmember Ashton,
We're not.
excuse me, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but I don't think we're asking them to swing the pendulum all the way back. I think based on the governor's mandate, the outdoor dining was allowed at 50%. And I agree with you, by the way. I think the outdoor, the tents, it should be a tent to cover you from the rain, but I completely, disagree with the walls. I think the walls shouldn't be there because, again, you're outdoor, but you're in. And so to your point, you're absolutely correct. Going back to, we're not asking them to go completely back and swing the pendulum exactly at the beginning, is having them take a look at the 50% and establish some reasonable guidelines. And I think that the key word here is reasonable. You can't go from this to completely nothing.
Can I suggest?
That's not what it says here in the resolution.
Madam Mayor?
Saying
Yes.
that we don't agree with what, we don't agree to repeal the new outdoor dining restrictions that take effect. All this.
Councilmember.
So basically,
Sean?
we're
Sean?
not going back to, well, I'm sorry, I'll make my point and then I'll give the floor back. But according to what I'm reading here, it says that we're asking them to repeal the outdoor dining restrictions.
Yeah.
So basically, that's taking it back to what was in process before. And I can't support, the total repeal of what they passed. I agree with portions of why they did it, but, to the way, for 3 weeks, there's something that needs to be worked that by saying we're just asking them to repeal what they've done doesn't really cover what they need to do.
So Councilmember Ashton, I'm going to have our city manager explain further as to this resolution.
So, first of all, apologize. This happened really quickly out of today. Councilmember Ashton, you are correct that it goes, it swings the pendulum. What I would suggest is that we could make some changes to the resolution now that would include some of the things that we're talking about. For example, 90 minutes at a table, for example, that it applies, that there's a distinction between restaurants and bars. You can also include a time limit, or you can also include, 50% of capacity. So those are things that we can do, right? And the walls. So those are all things. So we need to go not all the way backward, but there's a happy middle that I think would allow, everybody to feel comfortable that we're not going all the way back, but we're saying, hey, before you go full steam and swing the pendulum all the way the other way, let's get to a place where we can all agree. So we can say, for example, if we want to say outdoor capacity is at 50%, no side walls, right? And 90 minutes maximum at a table. I mean, those three things alone would make a huge difference.
I didn't think 90 minutes is generous. I mean,
Yeah.
60 minutes is probably just,
So those are staff suggestions in terms of how you would go, so that if everybody feels comfortable that you can go that. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to happen. It's just something that we're going to go ahead and work with other cities. Other cities have reached out and said, hey, we have the same concerns, and these are the kinds of things that would go. Because ultimately, I think what we want to do is protect those essential workers and protect the public, but also keep in mind that those essential workers also need the money to survive, right? And businesses and so forth. So it's not an all or nothing proposition. In there somewhere there's a compromise. Those are suggestions.
No, I appreciate the clarity. I guess there's two questions I have, though, because it seems like time is of the essence on this. How quickly can we gather the information?
I think we can make those changes to the resolution tonight, right now.
Okay, and then number two, I'm still not convinced, and may be there, and I just maybe the question wasn't asked properly. I realize that we contract or have an agreement with public health, the LA County Public Health, but I still want to know whether that arrangement or agreement there's a requirement that we have to abide by something like this. I don't think anybody knows. I don't think anybody's looked at it.
Well,
But
I don't think you'll find that, but understand the contractual arrangement is that the county's public health department is our department for all intents and purposes, our health department. And so whatever rules they might come out with or issue, we will be subject to those orders. So that's how we are subject to the county orders because of this contractual arrangement that we made them our public health department.
It's similar to, for example, those cities that are patrolled by, let's say, animal control. Right?
So what happens if we pass a resolution action that we don't agree with that?
Yeah. So the resolution really, quite frankly, is really a statement of the council's priority, is what it is. At the end of the day, that's what it is. It doesn't change anything other than there's a hope that the county will listen to its member cities, and if enough cities say this is what we agree upon and this is what we'd like to see, that they will take some action. That's really what you're coming down to.
I still would like us to look at it closer. I'm still not convinced that because none of us have had this issue come up before, right? So I'm still not 100% convinced that there's something there that.
Well, I will tell you, there's been some lawsuits and yeah, in Northern California, there's other cities and they've been struck down. We'll look it up.
Okay.
We'll get that. So there has been attempts to do something like that, and it's the county health orders always prevailed. So we'll get that now. Vanya just reminded me something that the order that goes, the resolution, what it does is say that. We're against, or the city is proposing that they're against the new health order that will go into effect tomorrow, which is takeout only.
As written.
As written. But what it essentially would do is fall back to the governor's order, which is basically at 50% capacity and 90-minute turn. So you're not going fully back. The pendulum isn't going fully back to where it was.
I'm not saying there shouldn't be any restrictions.
Right.
That would be, the pendulum all the way back. We're not saying that.
Right.
We understand there should be some restrictions.
Right.
But this is just.
So what I'm saying, even if this resolution were to go as is, there still would be. You're saying you're defaulting to the governor's order, which is 50% capacity, 90 minutes at a table.
Right.
With the curfew being at 10 p.m.
With the curfew being at 10 p.m. So those are the things. So it will default to that line, not prior to that.
So how quickly can we get other cities to hopefully join us, you think?
It just happened. So we're there are some other cities in the COG region that have the same issues, and so it's not just Downey. So there are a lot of cities that have had some interest in seeing that. Because it is a precarious, it's a balance, right? It's it's protecting the public at the same time making sure that employees have a paycheck.
Yeah, I agree. I think the ones that are being impacted are business owners, are restaurant business owners by having this closure. So I think it's important to have this kind of resolution so that we let the county know that we have some major concerns with our restaurant business owners, especially when there's no evidence or there's no data to indicate that the high rate of COVID cases are as a result of the outdoor dining, when it appears that it's more private gatherings in people's homes. So unless anybody else is willing to make a motion, I'm willing to make a motion in support of this resolution.
Second, with modifications.
So with modifications.
Talk about what those modifications are so we
Modifications.
can actually write them in here and then you can adopt as amended.
And these modifications, if I remember correctly, 90-minute time period,
50%.
no walls.
No walls altogether?
No walls on the
Hold on,
the sides.
because
Then you're
If I could just
taking.
interject on the no walls. So the restaurants are actually given protocols for how to do outdoor dining, and the tents Walls is one of the items on there as well. So I believe they're only allowed to have one wall with the two sides cleared.
Yes.
So that is already in place in the current health order, along with the 90 minutes as well. And then the curfew followed suit is all from the California order. That was also followed suit in the LA County health order as of today.
Okay.
Okay.
Distinguish between bars and restaurants, right?
The yes, in the current, but there is a curfew currently right now that's restaurants, bars, and wineries. That's came from the state.
Now, Councilmember Saab, are you saying one of the modifications is to distinguish between
Yeah,
bars and
because I
restaurants?
think right? It shouldn't, I
Yeah,
think so.
yeah, I mean, you could say that this applies to, that your resolution applies to restaurants.
And not to bars.
And not to bars,
I think that would be the major modification, right?
right?
Because the time limit's already there. The wall component is already there. Is there anything else?
So I think that if I may, I'm sorry, what you could do is say that the resolution defaults to the governor's order, which includes many of the things that you just heard, 90 minutes, the walls, capacity. But, so you can say it defaults to the governor's order, and then secondly, that your resolution applies to restaurants only and not to the bars. Because the bars is quite frankly where a lot of the issues are.
Does that mean we would have to determine what
Clarified question then would
signifies as
be,
a bar?
What makes the difference between a bar and a restaurant? Because now, let's put this out there. If I owned a bar, what if I get somebody to do, to cook stuff outside to now I'm selling food. Now can I be considered a restaurant?
I think previously it wasn't considered a restaurant because you had to have your own on-site kitchen. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yeah, you have to have a kitchen, you have to have a percentage of your sales go to food as opposed to just, alcohol. The biggest problem with the bars is that they're staying open late, and their primary source of income was alcohol. And so what happens especially with a lot of younger people, the longer they stay together and drank, and that's why the 90 minutes, you turn the tables. In a bar, there was no requirement to turn the table. You can be there for 5 hours, 4 hours, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so on the resolution under, after the phrase, the city council, the city of Downey does hereby resolve as follows. Section 1 will stay the same. Section 2 will read, the restriction should default to the governor's order and apply to restaurants only and not bars. And then section 2 is now section 3.
Okay. So is there a motion?
I make a motion.
Is there a second?
You already make the motion?
Okay, I'll make the motion. Second.
As amended.
As amended. Madam City Clerk?
Can I, just one, Vanya, go ahead, you had a suggestion, please.
In addition to defaulting to California's most recent order, you may want to mention also defaulting to the most recent LA County health order prior to tomorrow's a new health order, because they do have some more restrictions in the California order. So if you only mention California, that means we are recommending to only follow the Californias instead of all the items that Public Health in LA County has also stated outside of the outdoor dining.
Okay, thank you.
So that language should default to the governor's order and the recent LA County health order before the November 25th action taken by the Board of Supervisors?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so
We'll add
so
that
there's a
language in there.
motion, there's a second. And Madam City Clerk, can we take a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Councilmember Ashton?
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Saab?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Frometa?
Yes.
And Mayor Pacheco.
Yes.
Okay, the motion is approved unanimously with the amendments to the resolution.
Thank you. Thank you, Vanya. Next item on the agenda is an administrative report. Approve the compensation adjustment for the city manager in accordance with amendment number 2 to the employment agreement. City Manager Livas, do we have somebody providing this report?
Yeah, yes, Madam Mayor, James McQueen, our HR director will do that for us.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. The item before you this evening is a proposed salary adjustment for the city manager position. In accordance with Senate Bill 1436, local agencies must report a summary of the proposed changes in salary or benefits for executive employees prior to voting. In accordance with Section 1B of Amendment Number 2 to the Employment Agreement with the city manager, it is the intent of the city to maintain a minimum of a 5% total compensation differential between the city manager and that of the next highest paid employee, which is the chief of police. In June of 2021, the police chief position will receive a 2% cost of living increase that will decrease the compensation differential between these two positions below the established standard. The city manager's current employment agreement establishes that the council will take action publicly on January 15th of each year to maintain the salary differential between the city manager and the next highest paid employee. This year, the city manager has agreed to defer this scheduled increase to July 1st of 2021 to coincide with the start of the new fiscal year. The city manager's current monthly salary is $23,470.89. To maintain this established differential, a salary range adjustment of approximately 2% is proposed for the start of the pay period that includes July 1st of 2021. The new salary range for the city manager position will be $23,954.67 per month. Also in accordance with established reopener provisions that we have in existing memoranda of understanding with other city employee groups, the council may reopen salary discussions to achieve labor cost savings as deemed necessary. This proposed salary range adjustment does not increase personnel costs in the current fiscal year and will increase personnel costs in the 21-22 fiscal year by approximately $8,822.57. Sufficient funding will be included in the 21-22 budget. And this concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments?
This is already in this contract, and all we are doing is we're complying with the law and making it, voting on it, and Mr. Levy has done an incredible job, and I'll be proud to make that motion.
I'm sorry.
We have to open it
Right.
up. Yeah.
Eventually, I'll make the motion.
Any other questions or comments?
I just want to say that Mr. Levis has done a tremendous job for our city, and we appreciate your leadership. At the same time, the deferral of the cost of living expense to the beginning of the next fiscal year is a prudent thing to do, considering what we've have gone through this year with the COVID response, and it is prudent, and we appreciate that. Thank you for your work.
Mr. McQueen, how many employees do we have in total?
In total, full-time?
In total, part-time, full-time, everybody?
Approximately 750.
Very well.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I will now open this item for public comment. Members of the public wishing to address the council regarding item number 15 may now call our teleconference line at 562-299-6622. For those who submitted comments via email, your comments will be read into the record and no further public comment via teleconference will be permitted. City Clerk Duarte, have we received any written correspondence regarding this item to be read into the record?
We have not, Mayor.
Do we have any speakers on the phone?
Yes, Mayor.
Hello?
Disruptive.
Am I on now, Mommy? Okay.
It's disruptive.
I'd like to compliment.
Right, it's disruptive.
Thank you for the deferral
I'm sorry, why can't
of
you
the
cut him off? He's
2%
disruptive.
COLA,
That's disruptive.
known as the cost of living rigor
My
increases
recommendation is that you let him
till
speak.
July
The rules
1st.
say you can't be disruptive. He's
But
being
you realize
There's
that
no,
you're
I don't
not
see any
paying
reason
your chief of
that you can't move
police
the meeting forward.
enough money
He's just using a baby voice.
for all the bullshit
Sorry.
that
My babies don't
he
speak
has
like
to go through. And you promised him that brand new Bentley. And I think that also you're controlling everybody else flips hamburgers and goes and works construction, Davis Bacon only pays $23.69 a month plus benefits. So he has so much money. Can he buy Mr. Herman a recreational vehicle so he can live on Downey Boulevard? I think combine the mental power of myself, Mr. Herman, and Mommy Blanca will put this COVID away and bring us to a new enlightened age. We will surpass and defeat the insanity that is going on right now. Let's get back to business. And thank you again for waiving that 2%, because 2% today is 2% tomorrow. But again, I will keep fighting for the chief of police in Downey to get his brand new Bentley. We've been waiting and waiting for that moment when the police chief can go to Beverly Hills in the proper vehicle to pick up those search warrants from his FBI associate. And that's what we do. Downey is the epicenter of political corruption fight.
Are there any other callers?
Please state your name and begin speaking.
That's him, isn't it?
It's me, honey.
Who's,
Herman, bitches.
who was the other one?
What other one? It's me.
He's the only one that talks about the police chief. That's Herman. It's different.
It's me, Mommy. Blanca, it's me. You're the lady that needs to see me. Yeah, Dr. Pimple. But let me go back to the two employment agreements. Well, I've been saying it for over a year that the chief of police 2% should be 20%, so when he drives that Maserati down Firestone chasing these bad guys in Miss Clementa's neighborhood, they keep doing those fucking donuts. So catch him. And then as far as Mr. Lever, since he's going bold, he can buy a brand new TV on 2%. Besides, Bill 1436 sucks. When Arnold Schwarzenegger stole our money and reducing our claims for employment agreements, for compensations for workers' comp, I could have been a millionaire by now. Instead I'm fucking here talking to you, Mommy. And you're so fucking confused about Spindler Herman. Maybe if you pay attention and get your chonies out of a bunch, maybe you'll know it's me, Mommy. You were wearing black today before you kicked my ass out of the city manager meeting on special. After you held a closed session by yourselves back there, they videotaped it when those 4 fucking black guys kicked me out of Downey meeting.
You're off topic.
Oh. I didn't know you clean them on, Mommy? Approve the compensation
wasn't-
adjustment for the city manager?
The other one's Spindler.
According with amendment number 2, like when I take a dump in the employment agreement because I
Mr. Herman, you're off topic. We're gonna hang up.
we're talking about 2% out of the 23,000. Out of 750 employees. What do you mean I'm off topic? Are you fucking stupid?
2, 1. Let's hang up. Are there any other? Yeah, no more baby voices. Any other callers? One more? It's Herman. Hang up. That's it? Okay. Second? Is there a motion? A second to receive and file and approve the compensation adjustment for the city manager in accordance with amendment number 2 to the employment agreement. Motion a second. Madam City Clerk, can we take a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Ashton?
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Saab?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Frometa?
Yes.
And Mayor Pacheco.
Yes.
The motion is approved unanimously.
Thank you. City Manager Rivas, do you have any comments?
Madam Mayor, I do have just a couple of comments. First of all, I wanted to, respond. There was one caller that had called in and said that there was some waste of money for Dennis de Menace Park because there's a potential freeway that's going to come through there in the future. We don't go into those things blindly, and we knew about that, and we knew that that may or may not happen. We've been talking about this freeway for a long time, maybe 30 years or so. Even if it happened on their schedule, which I highly doubt because there's no funding for it, you're talking about maybe 20 years from now. So when we looked at that particular park, we said, that's an important green space for that community, and we feel that over time, that investment would pay off for that neighborhood. You're talking about roughly maybe $100,000 a year. It's less than 3% of our total budget for Measure S. So when you look at the cost-benefit analysis of what those people will enjoy for that park, at the end of the day, we thought it was well worth it to move forward with the improvement to that park. Can you imagine living in that park for 20 years in the same condition? That wouldn't be responsible either. And at the end of the day, if something were to ever happen, Caltrans would still have to reimburse us for the investment that we made. So we're not behind. We didn't waste a penny. And the people there got the benefit of the park. So I want to make that very clear. We didn't waste any money. It wasn't something we didn't think about. Number 2, I also want to thank the Rivers and Mountains Conservancy. They ended up giving us an additional $1.1 million for a total of $4.3 million for the park. And I also want to thank our Assemblywoman, Cristina Garcia, who was very instrumental in making sure that happened. And I also, again, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank John personally for his background in public facilities and making sure that we spearheaded this thing. People don't realize what a big lift this was logistically to move people out of parks, to move people out of the library, to provide staffing, to relocate. If you remember, we had our goal setting, and these are the things that you as council members said to us, hey, these are concerns that the community has, and we want to make sure that we stay ahead of them. And I think we did that with your help. We got to that point. And I want to thank the staff. Every individual department got touched in some way, and they all contributed to this process. It was a team effort led by the city council, making sure that we got to where we are. And let's make no mistake, these things don't happen unless they come from the top, meaning the council giving the go-ahead and the permission to move forward with these projects, right? We know that the public, we have one shot to get it right? And if we waste the public's money, they will never entrust us with that money again to do another bond issuance or do something else, right? We kept the promises that we said we were gonna do with the money. We were gonna hire more police officers. We were going to make sure that we took care of our fire stations and hired more personnel and equipment for our public safety. We indicated we were going to touch the parks. We said we were going to do the library. if you add up the amount of money and streets, and if you add up the amount of money that was going to non-safety issues like parks, that youth, and library, it's a significant amount of the overall budget. So there's no reason that you can't have strong public safety and have a robust infrastructure that benefits the youth in the city. And that's, I think, what the council has given us direction to do, and I think that they accomplished it with a really talented group of department heads and staff. I just wanted to make that clear. I do want to thank the outgoing council members that have been here. I've had the pleasure of working with Alex for 8 years, and Councilmember Rodriguez for 4. And one of the things that I've always been impressed on is that their moral compass and the ethics in which they approach their duties. And I think that's what has distinguished Downey from many of the other cities here. And the fact that I am the 7th city manager in the city's history is remarkable because that speaks to the stability of the elected officials. The average length of a city manager is about 2 years. That's how they cycle through. And so I want to thank both of you gentlemen for having a steady hand, being ethical, always caring about the employees, always caring about the people that you work with. And I think you should be proud of the things that you've done in the city in this time. If you stop and think about where the city is today, it physically looks different than it did just several years ago. We've had the most robust infrastructure program probably in the city's history. And all that business activity that people are talking about actually pays for the things that our kids have, the library, the recreation, the things that are important to people, the senior programs. And so if you stop and take a look at some of the things that you've done, and as subcommittee members, you've touched a little bit of every part of the city, whether it's the downtown, veterans, Downey Care Collaborative. We talk about homeless programs. We spent more on homeless programs than we've ever spent on. You're talking about whole child, helping families, not just the individual, but families. We put more money into rental assistance this year than we've had. We've done some affordable housing. We spearheaded a veterans affordable housing project in town. We've talked about years about arts in the public place. Right now, people want to live in a city not just because it's safe, but they want to feel part of something. And I think that some of the things that you have done have been sort of amazing. And so there's a lot of work in those subcommittees. And I want to thank you both for what you've done. I think that that sort of ethical moral compass that you guys have brought to the council is nothing short than impressive. So thank you. As Blanca alluded, it's not goodbye. We'll see you later. And this is your last full meeting together. But sincerely, on behalf of the staff, I will tell you that we talk about this all the time, that this is a unique place. And what people, I think, will miss is that, or don't understand sometimes, is that public employees are servants at the end of the day, and they want to serve in communities that that are seen as examples, right? And it's no different than the private sector. The best employees go to the best cities. And I think there's no way that we would have been able to do what we did in this bond issuance if we didn't have the talented people that we have. John leading, department heads. It just wouldn't happen. You wouldn't have the brain power, the cognitive abilities of the people, because you have, sincerely, Downey attracts some of the top talent. And that's really a credit to all of you. And so I'm sorry I'm getting preachy, but I want to say that I really appreciated the work that you have done, and I consider you friends. So thank you very much, and I wish you both well, and you will see each other around town. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, City Manager Rivas. That was well said. Thank you. We are now going to adjourn our meeting in memory of Sergeant Sean Rios, Houston Police Department, killed in the line of duty, Jorge Sotomayor, and the lives lost due to COVID-19. A moment of silence. Meeting adjourned.